Hello, my name is Brandon Tinges, and welcome to day 3 of Neurohabits, a book called Neurohabits by Peter Hollins, and this is lesson 3, day 3. Let us begin. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about making and breaking habits. Transform your life by rewiring your brain one habit at a time. So today's goal is for the listener, the watcher, the viewer to accomplish anything by changing their neural structure. Neuroplasticity means your brain can physically change and adapt at any age. Habit change isn't wishful thinking, it's grounded in real biological change. By training new habits, we literally reshape neural pathways. You are not stuck with your current habits or identity. Change is biologically possible, and every small action you practice can rewire your brain and transform your life. So, learning objectives for today are going to be habit mechanisms, understand how the same brain loop that creates bad habits can build good ones, habit typology, name and identify the 3 classes of habits: motor, intellectual, and character, and habits and identity. See how repeated habits reinforce character traits and shape your self-image. By designing your habits, you're actually designing yourself. Each objective includes a practice exercise so you can immediately apply these ideas. Habit mechanisms, the brain's design. The same mechanisms that hold a habit in place could just as easily support healthier, better habits. It's not about willpower. Breaking or building habits isn't a moral test. It's an engineering project with your brain. It's not about wanting it badly enough or being a better person. The classic habit loop works for any behavior: cue, routine, reward. Your brain learns this loop whether the habit is smoking or meditating. Neuroplasticity in action is when we repeat a behavior, our brain's neural circuits physically change to automate that loop. We can form new circuits for new habits throughout our lives. The habit loop that made an unwanted behavior automatic can be copied and pasted to a healthier behavior. Design beats willpower. So a mechanism example, replacing the routine. First you had the trigger, which is, an example is stress at work at 3 p.m. triggers anxiety. New routine, 5 deep breaths or a quick walk instead of smoking. Reward is the same calming relief and stress reduction. We keep the trigger, which is 3 p.m. stress, and the reward, which is feeling calm, but we change the behavior in the middle. This way, we're speaking the brain's language. We're not telling our brain to stop wanting relief. We give it a different routine that still satisfies the need. Over time, the new routine becomes just as automatic as the old one because we've kept the loop intact. Key insight here: break a bad habit by replacing it, not just removing it. Use the same cue and reward with a healthier routine. Exercise. Rewire a habit loop. 1. Pick your target. Choose one bad habit you want to change. 2. Identify the loop. What's the trigger and reward that fuel it? Number 3. Design a replacement. Brainstorm a new routine with similar reward. And 4. Write your plan. When blank happens, I will blank. An example of this would be when I feel bored at night, which is a trigger, I will read 5 pages instead of snacking, new routine, to feel relaxed, reward. So take one minute to write this down and share with a friend or a partner. If you're watching this, just pause and then replay the video when you're done. So there's 3 types of habits. We have motor habits, which are physical actions and routines stored in muscle memory. So think walking, driving, posture, exercise routines, brushing your teeth, tying your shoes. Intellectual habits are thought patterns and mental routines. So analyzing situations, planning and organizing, problem-solving approaches, studying methods. And then character habits, value-driven behaviors that shape your identity. Honesty and integrity, patience and kindness, gratitude practices, generosity and service. Notice all of those character habits are value-driven. That's an important distinction. Motor habits are about efficiency and muscle memory. Intellectual habits guide how we process information. And character habits tie into our identity and values. They influence emotional well-being and self-esteem. Habit types in action. Motor, brushing your teeth, a physical routine you do on autopilot, probably while your mind is elsewhere. It involves muscle memory more than conscious thought. Intellectual, weekly budget review, for example, sitting down every Sunday to review finances or plan your week. A repeated mental exercise, engaging analysis, focus, and decision making. And then you have character, daily thank you note, writing gratitude notes or listing things you're grateful for each day. A behavior driven by the value of gratitude. Nurturing a trait. Motor is about doing. Intellectual is about thinking. Character is about being. If you want to become more creative, adopt an intellectual habit like daily brainstorming. To become more kind, adopt a character habit like daily acts of kindness. Character habits are the most powerful habits by far. So, exercise. Classify your habits. Target habit. The bad habit you want to change. Label that. Write it down. And identify what type of habit that is. Is it motor, intellectual, or character? And then identify a replacement habit. The new habit that you'll do instead is blank. And then write down what kind of habit that is. A motor, intellectual, or character habit. Some examples might be procrastinating on assignments. That's intellectual. A late night snacking habit, which is motor. Studying for 30 minutes nightly is intellectual. Drinking herbal tea at 9 p.m. is motor. Recognizing a habit's type gives insight into how to approach changing it. Character habits require emotional reinforcement, while motor habits need environmental cues. Habits and character, two sides of one coin. Habit and character mutually define and strengthen one another. Good habits entrench good character over time, and vice versa. Every time you perform a habit, you cast a vote for the type of person you are. If you regularly help others, you become a compassionate person. If you routinely cut corners, those habits reinforce dishonesty. Over time, consistent actions solidify into your identity. Character habits are the most identity defining. They directly reinforce traits like integrity, diligence, or kindness, core pieces of how you see yourself. Repeating a character habit builds self-esteem and self-image. Keeping a promise every day makes you feel like a reliable, trustworthy person, boosting your confidence. Every habit is not just an action, it's an investment in your identity. So here's a character habit example, building generosity. So the trait goal is become a more generous person. Daily habit, give a small gift, help someone, or write a thank you note each day. The result is reinforced identity as a generous person. Character growth achieved. Huzzah! Initially, this is just a deliberate practice, but over time, as you repeat generous acts, you start to see yourself as naturally generous. Others recognize you as giving. It becomes uncomfortable not to be generous because it's a part of you. Your identity shifts. You've practiced being a generous person so consistently that it becomes self-defining. This works for other traits. Want confidence? Speak up with an idea at a meeting. You want kindness? Compliment someone daily. Each repetition is evidence to your brain that this is who I am. All right, exercise. Character habit microplan. Choose your trait. Select one character trait you want to develop. Kindness, courage, discipline, honesty, curiosity. Design a tiny action. Think of a small daily action that expresses that trait. Make it specific and realistic. Write your plan. When blank happens, I will blank. Examples. If you want kindness, when I sit down to dinner, I will share one thing I appreciate about somebody. Integrity. When I mess up, I will immediately admit it out loud. Curiosity. When in conversation, I will ask one question instead of talking about myself. Reflection. If my habits shape my character, what character am I currently rehearsing? Interesting. The power of implementation intentions. So identify the cue. Choose a specific situation or time. Link the behavior. Connect your new habit to that cue. Automate success. Your brain executes without willpower. That's the ideal situation. The if-then or when-then formula is proven to dramatically increase follow-through on new habits. By tying your new behavior to a specific cue, you make it more automatic and it requires less willpower. This is called an implementation intention, and research shows it's one of the most effective habit-building strategies. Instead of vague goals like I'll exercise more, you create, when I wake up at 7, I will do 10 push-ups. The specificity removes decision-making and creates a mental trigger that makes the behavior feel inevitable. Your habits are wiring your future. Daily actions, small behaviors repeated consistently. Neural pathways, brain circuits strengthen and automate. Leads to identity shift. You become the person you practice being, which leads to character growth. Values and traits solidify over time. This cycle never stops. Every habit you practice today is casting a vote for the person you're becoming tomorrow. The question isn't whether you're building habits. You always are. The question is, you are building the habits that create the character you want. So, a real-world application. Start small, think big. Week 1, choose one habit from today's exercises. Make it tiny and specific. One example might be a 2-minute meditation when your alarm goes off. Weeks 2 and 4, track your consistency. Adjust your when-then plan if needed. A goal would be to have 80% success rate, 5 to 6 days per week. A month, and then months 2 and above, add a second habit or expand the first. Build your habit stack. You're now designing your character intentionally. Don't try to change everything at once. Research shows that focusing on one habit at a time leads to a better long-term success. Once a habit becomes automatic, usually 2 to 3 months, you can add another. This is how you build a life of excellence, one deliberate habit at a time. Some common obstacles and solutions to those common obstacles. One obstacle is simply forgetting. So a solution is use your environmental cues. Put your running shoes by the bed, set your phone reminders, make the cue impossible to miss. Obstacle, lack of motivation. Solution, don't rely on motivation. Rely on systems. Your when-then plan works even when you don't feel like it. Another obstacle is breaking the streak. Solution, never miss twice. 1 slip is human, 2 is the start of a new bad habit. So get back on track immediately. Give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself, love yourself, don't judge yourself, because that'll just reinforce the old bad habit. So, day 3 key takeaways. This would be a primary slide to take a picture of and keep it readily available. Habit change equals brain change. Neuroplasticity makes new habits possible at any age. It's biology, it's not magic. Same loop builds good or bad habits. Cue, routine, reward. Works for any behavior. Use it to your advantage. There's three types of behaviors: motor, intellectual, or character. Physical actions, thinking patterns, and value-driven behaviors each serve different purposes. Character habits shape identity. What you repeatedly do defines who you are. Habits and character reinforce each other. The if-then plans build habits effortlessly. Link cues to new behaviors. When X happens, I will do blank. Proven to increase follow-through. Again, take a picture of this slide so you have it readily available. So, transformation starts now. You already have one habit to change. You identified one habit to rewire using the cue, routine, reward loop. You know 3 types of habits. You can now classify habits as motor, intellectual, or character. And now you've identified your 100% potential. You have everything you need to redesign yourself through intentional habits. Remember, you are not stuck with your current habits or identity. Every small action you practice is rewiring your brain and building the character you aspire to have. Your habits are literally wiring your future self. All right, thank you again for watching and spending time with me today. If you're interested in more, please download my free downloadable ebook, from my website, growasyougo.love. The QR code is available here. And if you're interested in staying connected, you can follow me on Instagram. The QR code is available right there as well. This is lesson 3 of 7, more to come. All of these were built directly from the book Neurohabits by Peter Hollins. So stay tuned and connected for more. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.